Picture this. You're standing in front of a room full of people, all eyes on you. Your heart should be racing, your palms sweating, your mind going blank. But instead, you feel completely calm, centered, and in control. You speak with clarity, move with purpose, and radiate an unshakable confidence that commands respect without saying a word. What if I told you that this version of yourself isn't a fantasy? What if the secret to becoming this person has been hidden in plain sight for over 2,000 years, waiting for you to discover it? The ancient Stoics weren't just philosophers sitting in ivory towers. They were warriors, emperors, and leaders who faced the most challenging situations imaginable. And they developed a mental framework so powerful that it could transform anyone from anxious and insecure to absolutely unstoppable. Today, I'm going to share with you 12 life-changing Stoic principles that will rewire your brain for unshakable confidence. These aren't just motivational quotes or feel-good mantras. These are battle-tested psychological tools that have helped people conquer their fears, overcome massive obstacles, and build rock-solid self-assurance for over 2 millennia. But here's the catch. You can't just learn these principles. You have to embody them. You have to let them transform not just how you think, but how you live, breathe, and show up in the world. Are you ready for that level of transformation? Let's dive in. Secret 1. Stop being a slave to other people's opinions. Here's a brutal truth that most people never want to face. If your confidence depends on what others think of you, you're essentially giving everyone around you the remote control to your happiness. Think about it. When someone compliments you, you feel great. When someone criticizes you, you feel terrible. You're like a puppet dancing to the tune of everyone else's opinions. The Stoics called this the ultimate form of slavery, and they were right. Marcus Aurelius, who literally ruled the Roman Empire, wrote in his personal journal, "Remember that very little disturbs the wise man, for he is not affected by the opinions of men." Here's a man who had millions of people judging his every move, and he understood that true power comes from internal validation, not external approval. But how do you break free from this mental prison? Start by asking yourself this question. Whose life am I living? Are you making decisions based on what you truly want or based on what you think others expect from you? The moment you start living for your own approval instead of everyone else's, you'll discover a type of freedom you've never experienced before. You'll speak your truth, make authentic choices, and develop the kind of confidence that can't be shaken, because it doesn't depend on anyone else's permission. Secret 2. Master the art of mental judo. Imagine you're a martial arts master facing an opponent. Instead of trying to overpower them, you use their own force against them. That's exactly what the Stoics taught about dealing with life's challenges. The second secret is learning to distinguish between what you can control and what you can't, and then focusing all your energy on what's actually in your power. This sounds simple, but it's revolutionary when you actually apply it. You can't control whether people like you, but you can control how likable you are. You can't control whether you get the job, but you can control how well you prepare for the interview. You can't control the weather, but you can control whether you bring an umbrella. Epictetus, who went from being a slave to becoming one of history's greatest teachers, put it perfectly. Wealth consists in not having great possessions, but in having few wants. The same applies to confidence. It comes not from controlling everything around you, but from mastering everything within you. When you stop wasting mental energy on things beyond your control, you become like a laser beam, all your power focused on what actually matters. That focused energy becomes unstoppable confidence. Secret 3. Become your own best coach. Your inner voice is either your greatest ally or your worst enemy. There's no middle ground. The Stoics understood that the conversation you have with yourself all day long literally shapes your reality. If you're constantly telling yourself, "I can't do this, I'm not smart enough," or "everyone's going to judge me," your brain will find evidence to support these beliefs. It's like having a toxic coach in your head, sabotaging you at every turn. But what if you flipped the script? What if you became your own champion instead of your own critic? Start each day by speaking to yourself the way you would speak to your best friend who's about to face a big challenge. Be encouraging, be realistic, but be supportive. Say things like, "I'm capable of handling whatever comes my way today. I learn and grow from every experience," or "I have unique value to offer the world." This isn't about lying to yourself or being unrealistic. It's about giving yourself the same benefit of the doubt you'd give to someone you care about. The Stoics believed that wisdom begins with self-compassion, and they were absolutely right. Secret 4. Turn fear into fuel. Most people try to eliminate fear from their lives. The Stoics had a different approach. They learned to dance with it. Fear isn't your enemy. Fear is information. It's your nervous system's way of saying, "Pay attention. This matters to you." The problem isn't that you feel fear. The problem is what you do when fear shows up. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's feeling the fear and acting anyway. Every time you face your fear instead of running from it, you're building what the Stoics called the discipline of action. Here's a practical exercise. Make a list of 3 things you've been avoiding because they scare you. Maybe it's starting that business, having a difficult conversation, or putting yourself out there creatively. Now commit to doing one small action toward each of these fears within the next week. When you consistently take action despite fear, something incredible happens. Your brain starts to trust you. It learns that fear isn't a stop sign. It's just another piece of data. And that trust becomes unshakable confidence. Secret 5. Strengthen your mental muscles through voluntary discomfort. Here's something that might surprise you. The Stoics regularly practiced making themselves uncomfortable on purpose. They called it negative visualization and voluntary discomfort, and it's one of their most powerful confidence-building tools. Why would you voluntarily make yourself uncomfortable? Because when you choose your discomfort, you're no longer a victim of it. You're in control. Try taking cold showers for a week. Eat simple meals occasionally. Sleep on the floor once in a while. Speak up in situations where you'd normally stay quiet. The specific discomfort doesn't matter. What matters is proving to yourself that you can handle more than you think you can. When you regularly push slightly beyond your comfort zone by choice, 2 things happen. First, your comfort zone expands. Second, you develop what psychologists call self-efficacy, the deep belief that you can handle whatever life throws at you. This isn't about being masochistic. It's about building anti-fragility, the ability to not just survive challenges, but to grow stronger from them. Secret 6. Command respect through your presence. Your body language isn't just how you communicate with others. It's how you communicate with yourself. The Stoics understood that your physical posture directly influences your mental state. When you slouch, avoid eye contact, and make yourself small, you're literally telling your brain, "I'm not important." But when you stand tall, make direct eye contact, and take up appropriate space, you're sending a completely different message. Here's the fascinating part. Research has proven that power posing for just 2 minutes can increase your confidence hormones and decrease your stress hormones. The Stoics figured this out 2,000 years ago without any scientific equipment. But this goes deeper than just standing straight. It's about carrying yourself with what the Stoics called dignity, a quiet confidence that doesn't need to prove itself through arrogance or aggression. Practice walking into rooms as if you have every right to be there, because you do. Make eye contact with people when you speak to them. Take up space without apologizing for existing. Your presence should communicate that you respect yourself, which makes it easier for others to respect you too. Secret 7. Reframe failure as data. Most people are terrified of failure because they see it as evidence that they're not good enough. The Stoics saw failure as the price of admission to growth. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This isn't just philosophical poetry. It's a practical approach to building confidence through resilience. Every failure is actually just feedback. It's information about what didn't work, which brings you one step closer to finding what does work. When you start seeing setbacks as data points instead of verdicts about your worth, you become practically unstoppable. Think about a child learning to walk. They don't get discouraged by falling down hundreds of times. They just get back up and try again, because they haven't yet learned that falling is supposed to be embarrassing or meaningful. The Stoics maintained this childlike resilience throughout their lives. The next time something doesn't go as planned, ask yourself, what did I learn from this? How can I use this information to do better next time? When you reframe every experience as a learning opportunity, confidence becomes inevitable. Secret 8. Build your foundation on authenticity. Fake confidence is like building a house on sand. It looks impressive until the first storm comes along. Real confidence comes from being authentically yourself, even when it's uncomfortable. The Stoics valued authenticity above almost everything else. They believed that trying to be someone you're not is the source of most human suffering. When you're constantly performing, you're using massive amounts of mental energy that could be directed toward actually improving your life. Authenticity doesn't mean being rude or inappropriate. It means being honest about who you are, what you value, and what you want out of life. It means admitting when you don't know something instead of pretending you do. It means showing your personality instead of hiding behind a mask. When you stop trying to impress everyone, something magical happens. You start attracting the right people and opportunities. You develop what the Stoics called equanimity, a calm confidence that comes from knowing exactly who you are and being comfortable with that person. Secret 9. Choose your circle wisely. The Stoics understood something that modern psychology has confirmed. You become the average of the people you spend the most time with. If you surround yourself with negative, fearful, or small-thinking people, their energy will drag you down, no matter how strong you think you are. But if you surround yourself with confident, growth-minded, supportive people, their energy will lift you up and inspire you to become your best self. This doesn't mean you should abandon friends who are going through tough times. It means being intentional about who you choose as your inner circle, the people whose opinions you value and whose company you seek regularly. Epictetus said, "Keep constantly in mind in what manner of men you associate, for we are all naturally imitative." Choose associates who challenge you to grow, who celebrate your successes, and who support you through difficulties. If you can't find these people in your current environment, start looking elsewhere. Join communities aligned with your values. Attend events related to your interests. Read books by people you admire. Remember, you're not stuck with the social circle you inherited. You can consciously create the one you deserve. Secret 10. Become a learning machine. Nothing builds confidence quite like competence. The Stoics were obsessed with continuous learning because they understood that knowledge plus action equals power. But this isn't just about academic learning. It's about developing real skills that make you valuable in the world. Every new ability you master, every problem you learn to solve, every challenge you overcome adds to your reservoir of self-confidence. Seneca wrote, "Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end." Each skill you develop ends your ignorance in that area and begins your competence. And competence breeds confidence in a way that no amount of positive thinking ever can. Make learning your competitive advantage. Read books, take courses, find mentors, practice skills. Become the kind of person who's always growing, always improving, always adding value. When you know you're constantly getting better, you naturally feel more confident about your ability to handle whatever the future brings. Secret 11. Master the art of present moment awareness. Anxiety lives in the future. Regret lives in the past. Confidence lives in the present moment. The Stoics discovered this truth long before mindfulness became a buzzword. When you're fully present, you can't be worried about what might happen or embarrassed about what already happened. You're simply here, now, dealing with reality as it actually is, rather than the stories your mind creates about it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Today I escaped anxiety." Or no, I discarded it, because it was within me, in my own perceptions, not outside. Anxiety isn't caused by external circumstances. It's caused by your thoughts about external circumstances. Practice bringing your attention back to the present moment throughout your day. Notice your breath, your body, your surroundings. When your mind starts spiraling into what-if scenarios, gently redirect it to what is. Present moment awareness isn't just a stress reduction technique. It's a confidence-building superpower. When you're fully present, you respond to situations from a place of clarity rather than reacting from a place of fear. Secret 12. Build confidence through consistent small wins. The final secret is perhaps the most practical. Confidence isn't built through one dramatic moment of courage. It's built through thousands of small acts of integrity with yourself. Every time you do what you say you're going to do, even when it's just keeping a small promise to yourself, you're making a deposit in your confidence account. Every time you follow through on a commitment, meet a deadline, or stick to a goal, you're proving to yourself that you're reliable and capable. Start small. Commit to making your bed every morning for a week. Promise yourself you'll walk for 10 minutes each day. Decide to read for 15 minutes before checking your phone. These might seem insignificant, but they're actually building the foundation of self-trust. The Stoics called this the discipline of assent, the practice of only agreeing to what you can actually control and deliver. When you become someone who keeps commitments to yourself, you naturally become more confident in your ability to handle larger challenges. Seneca wisely noted, "It is more fitting for a man to laugh at life than to lament over it." Build your confidence through consistent small victories, and you'll find that life becomes something to laugh with rather than something to fear. These 12 Stoic secrets aren't just ancient wisdom. They're a roadmap to becoming the most confident, capable, and resilient version of yourself. But here's what separates successful people from everyone else. They don't just learn these principles, they live them. Right now, you have a choice. You can close this and go back to your old patterns, or you can commit to transforming your life through these time-tested practices. You can continue being at the mercy of other people's opinions, your own fears, and circumstances beyond your control. Or you can take charge of your inner world and build unshakable confidence from the inside out. The Stoics believed that we all have the capacity for greatness within us. They believed that with the right mindset and practices, any person could develop the kind of courage, wisdom, and confidence that makes them truly free. I believe that about you too. Your journey to unshakable confidence starts with a single step. Choose one of these 12 principles and commit to practicing it for the next 7 days. Don't try to do everything at once. Master one principle at a time. Let it become part of who you are, then move on to the next. The person you'll become through this process will amaze you. You'll speak with clarity, move with purpose, and face challenges with the kind of calm confidence that others find magnetic. You'll become someone who doesn't just weather life's storms. You'll become someone who dances in the rain. Your unshakable confidence is waiting for you. The only question is, are you ready to claim it? The ancient Stoics are calling to you across the centuries, offering you the keys to a life of true freedom and confidence. Will you answer that call? Your transformation begins now. Take the first step and let these timeless principles guide you toward the confident, unstoppable person you were always meant to be.